Hello everybody, welcome back to Jane's Medieval Kitchen. Today my lord has informed me that he's invited guests for dinner today, so I've been up and in the kitchen quite early to start to prepare today's meal. As you see, Lex is churning butter today, and that's actually not far off from being ready. And the other thing that we need to do first is get the bread in the oven. Now, I prepared bread a loaf earlier today. So this is the horse bread, and if you'd like to see how we make the horse bread, you can have a look back on the videos from about 2 or 3 weeks ago when I showed you how to make it. So go to Jane's Medieval Kitchen either on Facebook or on YouTube, and it will give you the instructions and recipe there for how to make it. So before I put this in the oven, I need to empty the oven of the fire. So I'm just going to do that first.
Is it wet?
It's all wet.
Is the bread wet?
No. Now this fire's been alight for about an hour and a half, so it's good and hot. Good and hot in there. Scrape out as much as I can. Just tip that onto the fire. Now what I'm going to do next is just wipe the bottom of the oven round with a damp cloth, because we don't want any ash getting onto the bottom of our bread. Get the last of the ash out the bottom of the fire there. Right, okay, now just to test that the oven isn't too hot, I'm just going to throw a little bit of flour into the bottom. If it burns instantly, I might have to leave the oven to cool down just for a few minutes. As you can see, there's a bit of smoke coming out of the oven already, so that's a little bit too hot. So I'm just going to wipe it around with a damp cloth just to cool that off a little bit. Yes,
It's very hot here today.
okay, right, I'm going to pop this bread in the oven. Just get it off of the board there.
The butter's doing good, Hannah.
The butter's doing good, yes. So we're just going to slide that straight into the oven like that, onto the bottom of the oven there. Pop the lid on to keep the heat in and put the door on.
Make sure it doesn't get stuck there, otherwise the horse bread will stay in there.
That's probably going to take about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So I'll check that after about 15 minutes and see how it's doing. Now, as you can see, Lex is doing well on the butter there. That's nearly ready.
When it's wet still.
Yes, you can hear the buttermilk is actually separated from the butter there.
Look.
Now, the other thing we've got on the fire here, we've got a joint of roast beef. Now, that's a ribeye of beef. That's been on for about 3 to 4 hours now, and that's cooking quite nicely. And the other thing we've had on the fire is our vegetables here. So we're just going to take these off. Now, this is a different dish. This is a salad of roots. Now, we've roasted the vegetables. I put them in here with a little bit of olive oil, and they've cooked rather nicely. We've got carrots, parsnip, turnip, and a little bit of beetroot in there. So you can see the lovely colours there of all those lovely vegetables. So before we put those actually into our bowl, we're going to make a dressing to go with this. So with this, we're going to have red wine vinegar, a little bit of olive oil, and salt and pepper. So I'm just going to get those ingredients. Lexi, can you do me some salt and pepper, please? So we're just going to start by pouring the red wine vinegar in first, and a little bit of the oil. Now that's obviously going to separate out. Yep, can we have a spoonful of both? So I'm going to whisk the two together. Oops. You whisk the two together. You put some salt and pepper in there for me, please. Yeah, just put the salt and pepper in there for me, please. Now, when I put the vegetables in, the vinegar and oil mix will coat the vegetables. Now, we're going to leave this just to sit while we cook everything else, so it will just soak up the vinegar into the vegetables. Yep, yep, just a little bit, about half a spoonful then. That's it.
I don't like
Yep.
pepper.
That's it. Just tip that in. That's it. Lovely.
There is a tiny bit more, but I don't.
Yeah. And if you can do the salt, please. So these have just been roasted with a little bit of olive oil. You put salt in? Salt. That's it. Okay.
In a minute, we'll just have
Yeah.
to.
Can you put the salt in, please?
Spoonful. That's not quite a spoonful.
No, a little bit more than that. And whisk that in as well.
A spoonful.
Yeah. That's it. That's lovely. Right, now I'm just going to tip the vegetables into here. And what we want to do is make sure that all the vegetables are covered with the dressing mixture of the olive oil and the vinegar. A little bit more vinegar to this.
I dropped the spoon on the floor.
I'm just going to use a spoon now just to mix all of that in together. And that's just going to sit and pickle, say, for about 20 minutes while we cook the next dish.
There's lots of flies today.
There are lots of flies today, so just add a little bit more vinegar to that. Okay, I'm just going to pop this over to one side just to sit.
Look at that, there's butter in it.
Right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do some garlic prawns. So I've got the pan on here now, that's getting up hot, nice and hot. And I'm just going to chop up some garlic and then finish the prawns off. We like lots of garlic in our prawns. We like lots of flavour. So I'll probably use about 3 cloves of garlic today.
Nice
one. Yep, give me the one.
Are these going to hurt your eyes?
No, garlic doesn't hurt your eyes. What we do, scratch. That's it. You should be able to peel that a little bit easier now.
Did you get it again? Put the rubbish in the fire centre.
That's it.
I was careful then.
Can I have that one, please?
That's not folded.
Okay. Cut the bottom off that. Pull that last little bit off. Well done. I think we'll just leave it at 3 because they're quite big cloves of garlic today.
Okay.
This garlic's so fresh it doesn't want to peel. There we go. Right. So I'm just going to chop this up nice and small. If you want that, so I'm going to cook these in butter and the garlic just till they're just cooked, and then we're going to take them out of the pan. So let's just get this chopped up. Now I'm just going to add some butter to the pan. It's very hot today. There we go. More of that. Right.
Do you think that butter's ready?
I think that butter is nearly ready. We'll do the butter in a minute. Let me just get these prawns on to cook.
Can I show them the butter?
So that
I'm going to show them the
quite quickly.
butter.
Right. So I'm just going to pop this garlic straight into that butter just so it can fry off just a little bit.
Can I show them the butter?
We'll do the butter in a minute, sweetheart. Right now, I've got these lovely big creaking prawns here, as you can see. Just going to pop those into the butter as well. I've got 2 more here just to finish off. So take the heads off, take the tails off, and peel them. We don't want our Lord to be fiddling about at the table peeling prawns, so we're going to do the job for him today. Now, this recipe that we're doing today is prawns in a pea sauce. Put some more of those in there. And it's like a mushy pea sauce with so much more in. So we'll just come to do that in a moment.
Look at that butter.
Use any shellfish for this recipe. Yes.
That butter is very good now.
There we go. And then just let shell off.
Kind of like the garlic.
Pop that one into there, out of the way.
You don't want to eat the face
Right,
bit.
put those in there. We don't want to eat the head. We don't want to eat the tail. Wash my hands.
And then we'll do the butter. This is for the butter to squish the butter down and get rid of.
Coat those prawns in the garlic butter there.
Can I tell them what this is for?
Yes, we don't need to do that.
And this is something that you use to squish down the butter and get rid of all of the cream mixture, butter mixture in it. And we're going to use that today. So yeah, we're going to squish this batter down in a minute.
Okay, while those prawns are cooking there, we are going to deal with butter. So we just need to
Which I was waiting for today. Because I want to taste the butter.
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pour all the buttermilk out of here. So let's just take this bit off. So we're just going to pour the buttermilk straight into the bowl there.
Try not to.
Now they're really good if they're used for drop scones or something like that. We'll probably use them actually for our dessert later, where we make fried oranges. Right, that can just be put to one side for a moment. Now we're just going to scrape the butter out the bottom of here. It's actually quite soft today. Let's get rid of that.
Can I squish it?
It's really soft, right?
We're going to add a bit of salt to it.
We're going to add a bit of salt. So if you can get the salt out for me, please, Lexi. Get rid of it. We're going to just squash this down, and we want to get rid of as much of the buttermilk as we possibly can out of this.
And like a spoonful or two.
Yeah. There we go.
So we need 2 of these spoons.
Yeah. Sprinkle it all over the top. That's it. Another one. That's it. That's it. Right, okay.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello, Chris. Well, I'm just mixing this up today. I'd just like to say hello to all of our viewers from around the world. We have viewers in Spain, America, Australia, New Zealand, Italy, France, Germany, the Netherlands, and Slovakia that we know of so far. If you're from a different part of the country, please pop up and say hello and let us know where you're from, and we'll give you a mention. Now, this butter is quite soft. So what we're going to do now, this is a ceramic pot, so it's stoneware. It's glazed on the inside, but not on the outside. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand it in some cold water. So this will help to keep the butter cold, and it will help to keep it fresh. So I'm just going to pour the water in around the side, and that will then just help that to keep that cold. Now I'm just going to pop this over here out of the way. Okay. Now our prawns are nearly cooked. Give those a little bit of a stir up. The smell, it's a shame it's not smelly vision because this smells gorgeous. You get the real garlicky prawn smell coming through. So they're nearly done.
It's a shame you can't smell them because they smell very nice from over here.
So that's there. Right. Let's get rid of this buttermilk as well. We'll use that for our batter later.
A Lord might like this because it smells very nice and it looks tasty.
Right, let's get all our ingredients ready for our next dish. Let's get rid of that. So now we're going to make the sauce, the pea sauce, to go with our prawns. I'm going to leave them in there just for a little bit longer, just to make sure they're cooked right through. We don't want to overcook them because we don't want them to go dry. But they do need to be cooked right through.
Otherwise they won't look yummy.
They won't look yummy, right. So for our pea sauce, we have green split peas, which I have soaked and cooked. So they've all gone just mushy. They're just like a mushy pea now. So we'll get that. If you could pass over some of the other ingredients, please, Betsy.
The breadcrumbs?
We need breadcrumbs, yes. That we'll be using to thicken our sauce. No, we don't need butter. We need ground almonds and white wine vinegar.
Oh, I remember.
We need ginger, cardamom. No, we don't need that one. Don't need that one at the moment. Okay.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon, yeah. So hello, Karina. Thank you for joining us today. It's really nice to see you.
Do you even know her?
Okay. I think those prawns are nearly cooked. Pop those into and pop prawns into here and just leave it over the fire because we don't want them to get cold because we're going to be eating them hot. So let's just, you can see, a beautifully cooked prawns there. So just pop them in there. Just keep them hot.
Look yummy now.
They do look yummy, don't they?
I wish I could try that. And scoop them up.
Well, it's very hot over the fire, Lexi. Let me just pass my knife. It's a bit of a job getting the last
I
few out.
can't hold knives.
No. So we're not going to waste this garlic butter in the bottom here. So as you can imagine, the fire would have been a very busy place. We've got the pork, we've got the beef on there, we've got the prawn sitting on there keeping hot. And now I'm going to start on the pea sauce. So first thing we're going to put in is the peas. So we're just going to scrape those straight into there. So we start with the peas. We're going to mix them in with all that garlic butter, mix all those lovely flavours together. There you go. That's going to heat up quite quickly there. It's got a nice hot fire here. Don't need that. Right, now to the peas, we're going to add some ground almonds. That's about 2 ounces of ground almonds. We're going to sprinkle those in. Leave those out. We might need to add a little bit more in a minute.
Is that cheese crumbs? I don't know.
Breadcrumbs.
Breadcrumbs.
Right, now we're going to need to add some liquid into that. So we're going to add...
Is this white bread?
This is white wine vinegar. So we're going to add this next.
Can I have Tiny little bit.
That's ground almonds now. And the other thing is the breadcrumbs. Now that's 2 slices of bread that have been toasted and just ground up quite small. Again, I'm not going to put all of them in there because that will thicken the sauce. We don't want it to be too thick.
You have a little bit of those breadcrumbs.
You can try a little bit of breadcrumbs, yeah. Now to this we're going to add our spices. So we need some ginger. Can I have the spoon, please? Thank you. So we're going to.
Very good.
We need a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger. So that's about half of one of these little spoons. And cardamom. Now I love the cardamom taste, so I'm going to put a generous spoonful of this in. Gives it just such a lovely flavour. Put that over there for me, please. And we need the salt. Can you pass the salt, please? Okay. And cinnamon. Is there cinnamon there, Lexi, please?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, thank you. And just a pinch. No, not pepper into this one, and just a pinch of cinnamon. Right, we're going to mix all those in together now. Now this I think is going to need a little bit more fluid in it because it's got quite thick already.
These
So
breadcrumbs
I'm going to add a little bit of water to that. Now you could add some white wine to that. That will give it a really lovely taste as well. Or just a bit of vegetable stock. That's lovely. That's a much nicer consistency now. We've got the nice garlicky smell from the garlic prawns that we've already cooked. So it's really coming through there.
Do you need any more breadcrumbs?
I think that's probably enough for breadcrumbs. We're going to put those all over the other side. So just check the list again. Almonds, bread, salt, white wine vinegar, ginger, cardamom and cinnamon. Yeah, so we're just going to leave that now to heat through. That'll probably take about 5 minutes. Now, while that's doing, I'm just going to have a look at the bread in the oven, see how that's doing. I would say that's nearly there as well. Okay, and we're going to have a look at our vegetable salad as well here. Yes, Lexi is loving helping me and finishing off all the breadcrumbs.
I love the breadcrumbs. They're very yummy.
So that's now, you can see from that it's actually picking up the colour of the beetroot that's been cooked with there. So everything's just turning that lovely red colour, which makes it look really rich, and it will give it such a lovely colour on the plate as well. So we're nearly at a point where we're going to dish up a plate of food for our Lord and his guests. The Lord is always waited on. His guests, the guests have to help themselves. All the food will be put down the centre of the table, and everybody will just dig in and help themselves. So I need to get the meat off of the fire. So,
I'm just wearing just my
right.
today.
Oh, right. So let's just get this off of fire here.
Oh, that looks good.
Need a knife. Get off the spit. Not that. I think gravity will do the job. Oh, that's it. That's it.
That bit's stuck in it.
Yep, that's okay. That's it. That's that out. Now I'm just going to leave this to rest for a minute while I get my knife. we can get a slice of beef off here.
That will be very hot, so I'm not going to try it.
Okay, that's quite rare in the middle still.
It looks a little bit pink.
It's a little bit pink in the middle still, but that's fine. I don't mind a bit of pink in the middle. Now the joint I've used today is a ribeye of beef, and that actually it is still a little bit pink in the middle, but I personally like mine with a bit of pink in the middle. So excuse me, it's very hot in here today. Just give our peas a little bit of a stir because they're nearly ready as well. You can really smell the garlic in there as well. Right, let's get a plate.
I don't smell a thing from here.
Now I'm going to give my lord a nice big plate of food today for his guests. It's nice to show off to your guests that you can afford some nice meat, some nice bread. Another piece of beef up there. There we go. So there's the beef. Put that to one side. And let's butter the bread out.
Is the batter done?
The butter is done, yes, that's over there. That's nicely done, there we go. Bread cooked. Smell the bread now as I've taken it out of the oven, it smells gorgeous.
Take this out.
Just wait for a moment. So I'm just going to cut. It's not quite cooked in the middle. Let's cut a couple of slices off so you can actually see. There we go. Put that on the side. I'm going to pop that back in the oven for a bit.
I'll get the batter.
Some lovely peas there. And the last thing will be our prawns. We're going to pop some prawns on the top there.
I've got the batter now.
What? Oh, you can take it out. Take it out there.
Should I squeeze it down?
No, you can butter the bread for me though, please, Lexi.
Okay. I think that still's got a little bit more buttermilk in it.
Okay. There we go. Use that flat spoon to just butter that bread for me. If I can put that over there. Butter that for me, please. And serve the prawns. That's fine. Just put a little bit on the.
So much.
There we go. There's our prawns there. There we go. That's okay. That's buttered nicely. And the other piece. That's it. Nice generous serving of butter there, Lexi. And then we're just going to add our pickled vegetables to that now. Shows a really lovely, colourful, very colourful plate there. So there we have it. A plate fit for our Lord. Roast beef, fresh bread, prawns with pea sauce, and a root vegetable salad. Thank you for watching today. We look forward to seeing you again next time.